It's a privilege and an honor to present to you our first speaker, future priest Melchizedek Hawkins. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. You may be seated. May the peace of Yahweh be with each and every one of you. Now today my topic is on Yahweh's feast days and seventh-day Sabbath and salvation is being restored. Do you know who is revealing the truth in these last days? It is the House of Yahweh, Yisrayl Hawkins. Do you know who is teaching false doctrine? It is the Pope. Now, he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. He puts on an outward show of righteousness, but inwardly, as Yahshua Messiah said, he's full of dead men's bones. Now, in the 2013 newsletter, on page 11, it says, Daniel 7 verses 25, and he will speak great words against Yahweh, and will wear out, mentally attack, to cause to fall away the saints of Yahweh, and will think to change times, Yahweh's feast days and laws, and will be given into his hand until a time and times in the dividing of time. Notice, they will be given into his hand to teach against and change until a time and times in the dividing of time. The word until is a very important word to understand when the house of Yahweh would be given to perform their work, because this power of taking the holy scriptures out of the hands of the people until this time period was allowed by Yahweh for a set time. Now notice, Daniel 7 verses 26. If you could all turn there. It says, but the judgment will sit, and they will take away his government to consume and to destroy it completely. Now you can see that they're going to try as hard as they possibly could to kill the house of Yahweh. Now remember, Constantine changed the Sabbath and feast days. It was a death penalty. It was a death penalty for those who taught and upholded or even had a manuscript of some kind of the scriptures. Now if we could turn over to Matthew 24 verses 14, and it says, and this message of the kingdom would be preached to all the world by the one who bears witness to all nations, and then the end will come. Now, in the message of the kingdom, the laws of Yahweh is being taught to the whole world by the one sent, Yisrayl Hawkins. Praise Yahweh. Now, if we could turn over to Matthew 5 verses 10 through 12. It's on page number 731. And it says, blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of Yahweh. Blessed are you when men will revile and persecute you, and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For in the same manner they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Now, in the 2013 newsletter, back on page 11, it says, Micaiah 4 verses 1. But in the last days it will come to pass that the mountain promotion of the house of Yahweh would be established in the chief of the nations. It would be raised above all congregations, and all nations will eventually flow to it. Now this message of the kingdom of Yahweh is being made available to all nations at this time, from the chief of the nations. If we could turn over to Deuteronomy 12 verses 5. And it says, but you are to seek the habitation of your father, the house of Yahweh, the place Yahweh your father shall choose out of all your tribes to establish his name, and there you must go. Now in Matthew 6 verses 33, it says, but seek you first the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Now, in conclusion, I would like to say, don't fall in the trap of Satan's world. Stay in the house of Yahweh. Don't give up. May Yahweh bless your understanding.